Hello my lovely friends, it's Margaret and this is a reading vlog. I kind of deleted the first couple of clips for this reading vlog. Whoops. So, just to kind of give you the context for what you're about to see, so the 1st of December, which is where this clip is supposed to be from, making so much noise downstairs. I was reading the Titan's Curse. I was reading the Titan's Curse, and so you will see a couple of clips of me reading that, and then you will just see me go straight into the rest of that week. I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of the vlog now. Hi guys. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time because I only have a little bit of space left on my camera because I'm a video hoarder. Yeah. So anyways, it is December 4th, which is a Tuesday. Queen of Air and Darkness is out today. I'm still working on Lady Midnight and absolutely adoring it. I think I started talking about it last night, but I am just trash for those ridiculous romances where, like, it frustrates the heck out of me, but I also love it when you have two people who don't really understand their feelings for each other, don't really realize it, because I kind of love just watching two people realize that they're in love with someone. It gets me every time, especially if there's like some sort of forbidden element, which there's definitely that in Lady Midnight. I'm loving all of the characters. It's hilarious because one of the characters just got in trouble, and I literally was like, he was doing something he wasn't supposed to do. You get it from another character's perspective, so you don't know who it is. And so I'm sitting there thinking it's one character, and then I realize that it can't be that character because I know where that character is, and it's not down in the cellar. And so I realize who it is, and it was hilarious because I realized who it is, and I'm like, oh, Tiberius Blackthorn in that total older sibling voice, and then 2 seconds later his brother does the exact same thing, and I laughed. It was hilarious. He is precious, and I want to protect him. I want to protect all of them. Hello nerds, it's Thursday, December 6th, and yes, I skipped yesterday. I went out with some friends, and we were celebrating the fact that I finished my book. And by celebrating, we went somewhere that had dessert that Margaret can actually eat without, you know, turning into an anaphylactic mess. But we have gotten some reading done. We got a lot of reading done today. Honestly, I'm just kind of at this point, I'm not trying to really knock out my watch later list because I'm obsessed. And so once I get caught up on the day's videos for that came out that day. So right now, once I get to the end of those videos that I've added, because I know which videos are from the day before, or which ones are from, you know, the weeks before, because I have some from August. I probably should go through and get rid of some of those because they're no longer relevant, probably. But anyways, then I switch over to my audiobook at work, although today at work, my coworker came in to work in the office and I had left my headphones, so I didn't, like, I don't know what these crazy Shadowhunter children are going to pull. They apparently thought sex on the beach was a good idea. That just, I have zero experience in any part of that scenario for personal reasons, but none of it sounds fun, okay? Like, that just sounds like you're gonna get sand places that you're going to regret later. That's what I just, yeah, oh, my, yeah, sorry, that probably was a spoiler, but I didn't tell you which of my stupid Shadowhunter children it was, because I have a whole bunch of them in this book. I actually have a whole bunch of them in this entire freaking, like, world.
Jace Harrendale apparently can't keep his hands to himself, which I adore. And I think his girlfriend really enjoys too. So there's that. Some of the flashbacks, I'm like, did we really need this? But at the same time, it gives us kind of a glimpse of what's going on with characters that we have had in previous series. And I'm just like, you know, I really don't care. Really early on in the book, a character that we know from the previous series shows up. And I was out on a walk. And I literally started shouting while I was out on a walk. So I was smart and I went to my library and got physical copies of the book so that I can kind of track my progress and see where I am. So we've got that little bit left before we are done with Lady Midnight. I'm loving these. And I'm so happy because I went and I specifically was hoping that my library would have these paperback copies because I love the spines. Look at these gorgeous spines. I love the spines, and I really want to get this version versus the hardcover versions that I have. I'm not sure what I'll do with the hardcovers that I have, but I think when I do, I'm planning on doing a Shadowhunters reread, starting like chronologically reading these guys. And I think what I'm going to do is each month I will buy a new book in the paperback, and I will read that. And that's how I will manage getting the entire series, saga, whatever, like the entire set of novels. That's how I'll handle replacing it. I'm not sure what I'll do with my hardcovers. I'll probably find someone who maybe is looking, because I know how hard it can be sometimes to find the early hardcovers of series. So I might just find someone who's trying to complete their collection like I was trying to complete my my Percy Jackson collection right there, which I finally completed. We're on page 584, and this is just like the perfect... This has all the wonderful angst and forbidden love that I am enjoying. It makes me very happy. They are a mess, and I love this. Like, I'm just, like, on the one hand, I'm just like, would you just, please just kiss already? But at the same time, I'm just reveling in the unresolved sexual tension and just general hijinks that are happening. We're at a very intense point right now. I'm having flashbacks to City of Glass and the really, really, really bad thing that happened in City of Glass. And like, I trust Cassandra Clare, but I don't trust Cassandra Clare with anyone, but especially with anyone under the age of like 15. I'm so worried right now. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm very worried right now. It's funny. I'm more concerned about this one character right now than I am about the entirety of how Queen of Air and Darkness will end. But I'm also almost done A Court of Wings and Ruin, if you can see that. I'm on page... Oh, my back hurts. I am on page 632 of like 699, because these have deceptively thin pages, which means that this has more pages than A Court of Mist and Fury, but it's skinnier than A Court of Mist and Fury, and I'm just like, that bugs me. Listen, I respect putting thinner pages so that you have thinner books, but make my books match, please. Just please do that for me. I'm gonna get to reading because I want to finish this book, like, soon. Like, maybe tonight, please? I want to know, like, I'm sure everything's gonna be fine because there's an entire novella that's just fluffy, happy, Christmassy fairy stuff, apparently. So, oh, I need to fold my laundry. Hi. Do you wanna focus on me? Alright, so that is it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Hello nerds, it's Margaret. It's Friday, thank goodness, and I finished 2 books in the last 2 days, which is great because we're at the 7th day of the month. We're 1 week into the month, and I've already finished 3 books. So I think the slump is officially over. Also, apparently I am marathon reading the Dark Artifices series. But before we go there, hold on. Let's get you guys caught up. So, I finished last night A Court of Thorns and Roses. I gave it 4 stars, I think. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I really, really liked it. I thought it was really well wrapped up. I really liked how she tied everything together and brought everything. I'm questioning whether or not this was actually meant to be the end of the series, because I had heard that it was meant to be the end of the series, and then she decided to write more books. But I mean, it kind of feels like the end of a series, but at the same time, there's this thing in the back that says more A Court of Thorns and Roses books coming in 2018, which means A Court of Frost and Starlight. But, like, I got the impression that once she decided to write A Court of Frost and Starlight, she was writing the rest of the more series. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Don't care. I'm getting more books. So this was supposed to count for my end of a series book. And it's not probably anymore, but that's okay. This afternoon I finished Lady Midnight. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it. It's a bordering on a 5-star book, but it didn't give me that feeling at the end when I finished it that makes it a 5-star book. Look at how gorgeous these are. They're just absolutely wonderful, and I love them. The plan was to finish listening to this and then to listen to Six of Crows, because I am, like, most of the way through the audiobook on that one. I was just waiting for my brother to catch up, and then he caught up and surpassed me and didn't tell me he had finished it. So, but I don't have his Audible login information right now. I don't think he even knows what it is right now, because he's been having issues with his Audible. So, by the time he got back to me, my willpower had completely crumbled, and I started listening to Lord of Shadows, which was a mistake, because I don't know how. Some stuff was mentioned. For those of you that have read the book, go pull your volume out. On page 57, there's a conversation between 2 characters on a rooftop, in which one of the characters says some stuff that is making me very, very nervous. I can't think of anything else now except what she said, and whether or not Cassandra Clare is going to do what this character said she thinks might happen to her. And I'm not okay. I need to know what happens. So I was listening to this as an audiobook, but I can read it so much faster than I can listen to an audiobook. So I'm gonna read this tonight. This is the rest of my evening. I'm gonna get as much of this read as possible before I pass out. I'm 102 pages in. I hate the Centurions, and I think Zara needs to die because she is insufferable, and every word out of her mouth makes me want to kill her. I'm gonna go read some. Hopefully not have a complete and total emotional breakdown over these books. The good news is I don't have a physical copy of Queen of Air and Darkness because I'm not buying it because I like the paperbacks, which means I have to wait for the paperback to come out. So I'm waiting for it to come into my library because I'm not one of those people that feels comfortable buying the book and then returning it. Why would I do that? That's rude. But I do have the audiobook. So once I finish this, I can start the audiobook at least. So I have the whole series to kind of marathon through. But y'all, I'm shook. I am shooketh. I am not okay. I'm very worried. I'm gonna spend this is a whole... Okay, I did it without spoiling myself. There's 697 pages. The conversation that has absolutely, like, upended my world and made me very worried is on page, like, 57. So I have... And I'm going to spend 647 pages plus Queen of Air and Darkness, which is like 900 and some odd pages, worried out of my mind about fictional characters, guys. I need a life. This, I guess, is the place where I plug my second Twitter, because I have a second Twitter. I will link it down below, where I do, like, I've been doing threads of these books, because I like to live tweet stuff, but I don't want to spoil people. So, I've started doing threads as I'm reading the books. That way, like, spoilers are kept to a minimum, even if you follow that account, and then you can, if I'm reading a book, you can choose to mute the account for the duration that I am reading the book. And then, like, I'm trying to be good about, like, tweeting when I start reading a book and tweeting when I finish reading that book on my main account, so that you can see it and, like, be like, oh, okay, now we can follow her again and see what else she's reading and having weird observations about. Jace is so grown up, guys. I don't know what happened. I mean, I do, but I don't. He's so grown up. I was reading these first few chapters, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when did he grow up? When did he get so big? When did he get so big and smart and wise? So much growth. Good morning, nerds. It is Saturday, the 8th of December. I feel like that was important for some reason. Oh, I have bills due today. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine. Anyways, I am almost halfway through Lord of Shadows. Yeah. Cassandra Clare, I feel, has fairy blood in her because she knows exactly how to torment her readers. How to, like, take the scene right to that point where you're like, you have to know. Like, you need to know. And then she denies you satisfaction because she switches to another scene. Like, I mean, it's good writing. It's fantastic writing. But it is also very frustrating. So, I think I have been wanting Chick-fil-A breakfast for a while. And I'm not usually near Chick-fil-A during breakfast. So, I think what we're going to do is we are going to switch over to the audiobook. And get ready and get out the dough. And I will read there for a little bit while I eat myself some hash browns with some Chick-fil-A sauce. For those of you that want a page reference, I'm on 556 of Lord of Shadows, but Magnus Bane is too old for this crap. Oh, the minute he said he was portaling to where Emma and Julian were, I was just like, oh man. He has got to be so tired of dealing with teenagers. I'm feeling so bad for him right now. Oh my gosh. Like, the problems weren't enough, and now he's like, oh great, now I have to deal with this. I love Magnus. I love him so much. I'm so glad he's in this book. But that's your update. We did, in fact, get to Chick-fil-A and get some Chick-fil-A breakfast, and it was delicious. And I probably shouldn't have eaten it, but it was still delicious. And now I'm going to go finish Lord of Shadows, and I'll probably get back to you when I'm absolutely trashed and crying my eyes out. Not trashed, destroyed. Destroyed. I hear it's really a hard ending. I'm not feeling so great for Livy's chances of survival, by the way. Not feeling great about that because just the way she keeps getting brought up in Kit's perspective, making me slightly worried. Some of the things that are coming up, the way things are being worded and said. Yeah. Hi guys. It is, I don't know, 7:30, something like that. I just finished Lord of Shadows. I'm about to start Queen of Air and Darkness, and man, that was, I mean, I knew from the cover and the title what was gonna go wrong at the end of this book and why, like who it was going to be, but like I actually kind of feel bad for her and about it. So I'm actually gonna go get some food and do some editing, I think, so that I have a video maybe that can go up at some point this weekend. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. Who knows? I might just sit in bed and listen to Queen of Air and Darkness for the next 4 hours. It's also a possibility. We are doing pretty well with this whole month-long reading wrap readathon thing that I am doing because I am on my, I'm not following my TBR at all thanks to Cassandra Clare, but I am on my 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm on my 5th book and I'm about to jump on to my 6th. I will link the TBR down below for those of you that are just watching this, but basically the whole 2018 reading wrap challenge is about finishing any books that I have put down and any books that have been on that are on my TBR. Just finishing as many books in the month of December as I possibly can. For me, like, you can go low-key and just do 5 books for December, or you can go high-key and do as many as you can to fill all the prompts. So I am picking up one I put down way back in like March, I think, and that is A Time to Die by Nadine Brandes. I was reading this for book club, and then I ended up not going to that book club, so I stopped reading this because I knew I wasn't going to that book club, and I had other library books that needed to be read, and I own this because you can't get it from my library, so I own it. It's very intense, like straight out of the bat. Like, she gets her hand cut off at the very beginning, and all kinds of crap happens. And they're in a ditch at the moment. from what I remember. They could be out of the ditch by now. So I'm reading that. I'm about to start reading that again, and then I am reading Queen of Air and Darkness, which is just basically, I mean, we could retitle the entire Shadowhunters novels as just basically people making terrible decisions, because everyone is making terrible decisions. We're 9 hours in and everyone is making terrible decisions. Julian has officially dethroned Jace as the king of bad decisions. Like, it's coming from a good place, but there's still just bad decisions, and he makes Jace look normal. I understand exactly how Magnus feels. I was joking on Twitter. I was like, we could also retitle this whole Shadowhunters novels series as like, no one listens to Magnus, because that's also pretty much the basis of every plot. Like, Magnus is like, don't do this. You know what, Magnus? At some point, you're gonna realize that you telling them not to do something is a surefire way to like set things up so they have to do the thing you told them not to do. Wrapping up this week, I think I've had a pretty good reading week because I really enjoyed the 4 books that I've read in this vlog, which are The Titan's Curse, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Lady Midnight, and Lord of Shadows, even if Lord of Shadows did end very sadly, but I saw it coming. So I'm really happy with the way this reading week has gone. I'm so happy that we're like, I'm very pleased with my reading progress so far this month, and I am officially declaring the reading slump over, because I think you have to do that when you finish 3 books in 1 week. Granted, 2 of them I started before that week. Anyways, happy reading, and I will see you guys in the next video when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!